So for this week's assignment of exercises that we're going to do this week, what I thought I would do is assign hitting and talk about hitting a little bit more in a analytical manner and try to make it as simple as possible for our kids to understand. So what I've done is I have identified Tony Gwynn, who is a Hall of Famer who was one of the most successful modern era hitters to ever play in the major leagues. What made him so successful is that the guy hit 398 during an entire Major League Baseball season. Now that's incredible when you talk about a hitter having that kind of success against pitchers that change speed and have pinpoint accuracy on both sides of the plate. And so Tony Gwynn did that with a couple things that he kind of build a philosophy around. First of all, he swung a size 32 bat. He didn't swing too big of a bat. And number two, he didn't take too big of a swing. His swing was more of a contact hitter swing. Let the pitcher provide the power and let me not overswing type of attitude. And so with that philosophy, he managed to rarely strike out and play under very little pressure. Now, one of the common features of his swing that a lot of batters try to strive for in the big leagues is getting that back elbow tucked in as that plane of the pitch is coming. And what triggers that back elbow coming into the trunk of the body is the front hip rotation or the hip rotation, moving the upper body through the strike zone, or the upper body bringing the bat head through the strike zone. So essentially what our hitters should be thinking about is putting all the emphasis on hip rotation and letting the hands just sit where they normally start and getting that elbow tucked in towards their trunk of their body and letting the hip rotation provide the bat speed. Usually young hitters make the mistake or the assumption that we're supposed to swing with our arms because that's basically essentially what the first thought comes into their mind when they're holding a bat. But in reality, it's supposed to be the hips that trigger hip rotation, or I'm sorry, the bat head coming through the zone. And so here's Ronald Acuna. Ronald Acuna is a outfielder for the Atlanta Braves. And if you look at his swing, it's basically the same thing that I mentioned in Tony Gwynn's swing. His back elbow goes right up against his trunk of his body, and his bat follows through that plane of the pitch. And again, that upper body movement towards the plane of the pitch is triggered by the hips. So sequentially, to explain this, the hips go first and the hands follow. Here's Shawn Green. Here's a lefty hitter. This is the end of a swing. And so when you see his swing come up here in the next clip, you will see the front hip opens, the hands are back, and all the hands are doing is reacting to the energy or the force that is being created by the front hip. Again, the back elbow goes down into the trunk of the body, and as soon as plant foot comes down, you will see the hip pop open, the back hip pop open, almost as if he is going to try to hit that ball with the back hip. So that back hip explosion is what creates the hands to whip the bat through naturally, almost like a spring, if you will. And so The hands kind of feel
All right, fella. So
like
here
they're
is
just there for the ride.
work that we
Like
got to
they're not
perform
even
this week in order
they're not
for
even a
us
part
to
of the
get back in
swing.
the swing of
It's
things.
just the hips that end
Things
up
do seem to be
forcing the upper
getting better
body
in the
to
country,
come
and
along
so it is
behind the
just a
hips
matter of time
with the
before we
bat
get back into
and meet the
action.
ball on
So
time.
please don't
And
get
so
caught off
Sean
guard.
Green was a guy that was a really
Because we
good
will
hitter, hit
be
over
starting
42
to
home
get
runs.
active soon.
So
But,
was Ronald Acuna.
this week, let's focus on
And so
some,
the
some
way
tee work. When you're doing tee
we
work,
achieve some of these
focus
things is
on
tee work.
picturing
That's why we
or
always preach
creating
tee
an
work.
image
We're
in
always
your mind
talking
that you're
about,
facing a
did you
picture.
hit off the tee? We're always asking
Make
these
sure
kids,
there's
did
some
you hit off the
separation
tee?
on your lower half.
What
Of your
did you
body
work
to
on
your
during your
upper
tee
half.
work?
So
Because
allowing
tee work is essential.
your hips to lead you, as I've mentioned in the videos provided in this video. Let your lower half lead your upper half. So you let your hips open up first, hands stay back, and then the lower half will create enough energy to bring the bat through the zone. So you should be taking about 100 swings a day off the tee daily, and that's super important. And again, this is something that it's not just this week; it is ongoing. Also, too, in this video, I provided one-handed drills, which is a college level drill, believe it or not, that college players do. And that is to strengthen your front arm and to strengthen your back arm. Later in this video, you'll see Joaquin performing the one-arm drills. And then also soft toss. Soft toss is super important. Grab a partner, have somebody toss you the ball towards your the area of your hip, and then you meet that ball. And same thing, work on your separation. Let your hands stay back, and then whip the bat through the zone, tucking that back elbow into your trunk. Super important. And in addition to the hitting, we're also going to work on the Jaeger bands and also do the heavy ball as well. The heavy ball is key to maintaining strength in that shoulder. These are actually drills that are they were prescribed by Dr. Jobs, which is actually a doctor that performs all the surgeries for pitchers and position players to create health within the shoulder structure, and so that you can have a long career. And so these Jaeger bands and the weighted ball exercises are intended to provide long-term health for your bodies. So doing these exercises now as you are a young kid is going to carry you throughout your career. They're super important. You don't necessarily have to invest in these bands or buy a heavy ball. You can create these things from scratch at home and just do these exercises daily. These are things you can do for 5-10 minutes a day, and I promise you that with time you will begin to see improvement, not only with the way your body recovers, but also too in the amount of velocity that you generate from strengthening your shoulders and your arms and your back from these exercises. So these are very essential, very key exercises that I highly recommend. And then also keep up with your push-ups. That's another thing. Again, eventually you're going to have to get in the weight room. These are all steps that is necessary for you to compete at this level. Weight training, eating healthy. I know right now you're at home and it's difficult, but we should be trying to eat grains, drink a lot of water, and stay away from as much fatty food as possible. That's also setting a foundation for not only for your baseball career, but for the rest of your life. We have to stay active. All this is going to help you stay positive through this time. I know we're all going through a difficult time right now, but in our mind, we have to stay mentally strong to overcome any obstacles that come our way. And so performing these activities and exercises is part of maintaining a healthy mind and getting your mind prepared for what's to come this summer. We're going to have a blast this summer. Things are going to get better. So we got to have that kind of attitude, that kind of mindset that everything's going to be okay. All right. So I hope to see videos from you guys. I got a couple videos this week from a couple players. I'm a little disappointed that I'm not seeing as many videos as I would like to see, but I guess this is a choice that each family has to make as to how they run their home. But me as a coach, all I can do is give you parents the formula to kind of provide that path that you want to get your kid on. Because whether you play for me or you play for somebody else, you're going to encounter these kind of challenges from coaches. So everybody have a blessed week. Take care. And hope to see you on Wednesday for the meeting. Take care, guys.